The solar art installation is a work in progress that we're actually currently working with 4th grade students on, and it's a great project because it ties in science where they were learning on your unit, or
there were electrical energy,
Right.
energy transfer, and renewable energy.
Beautiful. So those connections, Vanessa came to me and said, how can we turn this into a piece of art? And then I thought of, and we came together on, let's speak to the community through their ability to power a light source using solar energy. We know solar energy is important to us as a campus recently, and speaking to the community is part of one of our initiatives. So we then brought in Anthony and Nick to the classroom, and in the art studio, students brainstormed what we wanted to say to the community. It was interesting, some negatives, don't use solar, and our clients brought to us that maybe we want to be more positive. When we're trying to speak to a community, we want to try to speak in a positive light and bring positive change. So the light up the night using daylight was what students selected as their phrase that they would like to be placed out on our terraces. And currently it is waiting to be lit. Students will do all of the lighting of it using solar energy, powering it through solar energy, and it will light up at night. One part of the art studio that's really important is the design aspect of it. They knew, this was part of our brainstorming as well, concerns that this wood is going to need to be out in the elements, and so then we need to know what can we place on the wood to protect it from the elements. How can we make it design aesthetically pleasing during the day as well as at night? When it lights up, it's beautiful, but during the day, what should it be? They landed on it being a earth pattern, so they wanted it to be continents and ocean, so they painted it that way. We presented it to Jesse. Jesse said, the backside's not painted. That wasn't something that we had considered in our original design, so that was something we come back to the drawing boards and we go, okay, what do we need to do? I presented to the students, they say we paint the backside. It takes an entire class to do that, and for me, it makes me panic for a minute because my lesson that was coming up doesn't get finished. But this lesson was more important because they realized that follow through and that reflection piece is just as important as moving on to the next lesson, and for me, I think that's more important. So we stopped, we went back to there. We were at a stopping point on the LED lights. The LED lights, we were trying to decide on the size. The students are back in on deciding on which LED lights we're gonna use. So it's really important that this entire process connects to more than one person on campus, and it is all interrelated and integrated among many people on campus.
All right, so I'm going to talk to you about a unit called information processing. This is a 4th grade unit that's called, where the kids are actually looking at how humans and computers both process information. We wanted to highlight this because this is entirely taught by the classroom teacher. So they go through this entire first section all about how humans process information. I taught it last year as a 4th grade teacher, and they're learning how the eye works, how your hand works, how your brain works, all of this different part. And when Vanessa first came to me, she's like, information processing. I'm like, that means nothing to me. What am I supposed to do with that? And then we started looking at the standard again and looking, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this connects to how computers process information. If we're gonna study how the humans process information, we need to study how computers process information as well. That's in the computer science standards, and it fits perfectly with this curriculum. So the classroom teacher taught this part entirely. This is a performance of understanding where the student made a movie using BrainPop. So they're using technology in this as they're creating this. And then they come and we do a series of lessons where I will teach them with the teacher on how the computers process information. So part of this, they did this last year, and we have even more materials because we found last year that having that many students around the old computers was fun, but actually building a new computer is something that's even more exciting. So they will deconstruct and build computers using a small Raspberry Pi. This is all funded through the foundation, so thank you so much for that. And we even have them, this is Austin, he is our technology person, Austin Valiente, and he brought in an example of his video game that he created utilizing a Raspberry Pi, just to show the students that once you have this idea of how this technology can work, that you can decide what you want to use with this. And so I think that's one of our big ideas, is we want to give them lots of different experiences so that they can say, oh, well, I could buy a Raspberry Pi and then I could create this with it and I could do this. So we want them to have these experiences so that they can feel comfortable taking apart a computer or building it back up again. One of the big things is that in the science standards and engineering standards, there's these cross-cutting concepts. And so one of the big cross-cutting concepts that we focused on here was structure and function. So how is my eye structured and how does that then work? How is the computer structured and then how does that work? So they really became experts on looking at things from that structure and function idea, and that was part of that deeper thinking that we would hope the students would do.